Hi students, welcome back to my channel Influence Mathematics. I hope you are all doing good. In this video today we are going to learn about chapter 6, that is lines and angles. Before we start this chapter, we are going to discuss here some points, some basic terms that we are going to utilize in solving every problems of this chapter. So the basic definition, basic terms are: number one, line. Now every time we have been mentioning the word line. Now exactly what is the definition of a line? A line is a straight one-dimensional figure. It is a straight one-dimensional figure. A line is a straight one-dimensional figure. One-dimensional figure with no endpoints. With no endpoints. Okay, a line is a straight one-dimensional figure with no endpoints. That means this is a straight line, one-dimensional figure, straight line. A line is a straight one-dimensional figure. It is a straight one-dimensional figure with no endpoints. That means both these points are not end. We cannot say the line is up to here, because since this arrow is there, that means it is infinitely long. It is infinitely long, and since the arrow is here, so this is in this side also, it is infinitely long. So a line has no endpoints. We cannot say the line is up to from here to here. Okay, we cannot say like that, since a line has no definite length. A line doesn't have any definite length. So that's why we say that with no endpoints. Okay, a line is a straight one-dimensional figure with no endpoints. That's the reason why we put two arrows at the 2 points of a line. Okay. Now number 2 is a line segment. Line segment. What is line segment? Line segment is a portion of a line. Okay. Now if this is the line, we will take a portion. From this line. Okay. So a portion of line is called line segment. Is called what? Line segment. So we have taken a portion of a line. This much we have cut down from a line, and we have taken this portion. So it has its definite length. From this line we have cut down 1 centimeter of a portion, and we have taken that one. This is called line segment. So it has two endpoints. A portion of a line with two endpoints. Okay, a portion of a line with two endpoints is called a line segment. Okay, so the line segment, it has its length. A definite length is there. This much is the length of a line segment, because it has two endpoints. So we are not going to put arrow in a line segment. Okay, got it? So this is the length of a line segment, and the definition is it is a portion of a line. Okay, from a line we have taken a portion of that, and since in that portion it has both the points has its endpoints. Okay, these are two endpoints. It stops here. Okay, it is not infinitely long. So that's why we say a portion of a line with two endpoints is called line segment. Now we'll discuss about a ray. What is a ray? Ray is also a portion of a line. But it has one endpoint. It has only one endpoint. That means the other is infinite. The other point is infinitely long. That means if I am taking this portion up to this much, okay, this portion if I am taking, then this is called a ray. Okay, I'm taking. So this is the endpoint, but this is not the endpoint. Yes or no? This is the endpoint and this is not the endpoint. So one endpoint. Array, it is a portion of a line. A portion of a line with one endpoint. With one endpoint is called a ray. Is called a ray. So it will look like that. It's the endpoint, but this is not the endpoint. Okay, it's infinitely long. Okay, but this is the endpoint, but this is not the endpoint. This is the here the line in this portion the line stops here, but in this portion it is infinitely long. So that's why we are putting an arrow here. That's why we said here a portion. It is a portion of a line. It is also a portion of a line, but only with one endpoint. Only with one endpoint, and the other will be not the endpoint. It is infinitely long. So these are the three definitions. First of all, line. Line is a straight one-dimensional figure. Is a straight one-dimensional figure with no endpoints. Both the points are not end. It is infinitely long. Okay, so that's why we say with no endpoints. Whereas a line segment, it is a portion of a line. It is the portion of a line with two endpoints. Both the points are end. Okay, that's why no arrow is there. You can see that. But here ray is also a portion of a line, but it has one endpoint, whereas the other is not the endpoint. One endpoint, whereas the other is not the endpoint. Okay, so other point is infinitely long, but one is the endpoint. So this in this way, these three terms differ from each other. Let us try to know some other points. Now, collinear points. Collinear points. Collinear points. What are collinear points? When three or more points lies in a same straight line. Lies in a same straight line. As you know very well, to make a line, we need at least minimum 2 points. To make a straight line, we need at least to make a definite straight line, we need at least minimum 2 points. Yes or no? Because we throw 1 point, many lines can go. Here also, here, this also is a line, this also is a line. But if I have to make a straight line in our own direction, in which direction we want, in that direction, if we want to make a line, then we need at least 2 points. Then only we can make a line. Right? So when 3 points will be there, when 3 points will be there in that straight line, when 3 points lies on this straight line, or 3 or more points, it may be 3 or more than that. Okay, if 3 or more than that, 3 or more points lies in a straight line, then those points are called collinear points. Are called what? Collinear points. If 3 or more points lies on a straight line, then the points are called collinear points. Collinear points. Okay. But if 3 or more points does not lie on the straight line, that means 1 point is here, 1 point is here, 1 point is here. Okay, so these 3 points are not lying in a straight line, right? So since these 3 points are not lying in a straight line, so that's why these 3 points are non-collinear points. Another one term, that is non-collinear. Non-collinear points. So here also the same definition comes. If 3 or more points does not lie, here does not lie, here lies. If they lies in a straight line, then they are called collinear points. If they does not lie in a straight line, since here you can see these 3 points does not lie in one straight line, this is going here, this is going here, right? So these 3 points are not lying in one straight line. So that's why these 3 points are non-collinear points. So how will be the definition? If three or more points does not lies in a straight line, then those points are called collinear points, non-collinear points. And if they lies in a straight line, then they are called collinear points. If they does not lie in a straight line, then they are called non-collinear points. Okay, now we are going to discuss about how the angles are formed. So angles, when two rays originate from the same endpoints, say this is from this point, one ray starts, because as we know that a ray, one point is the end point and another point is not an end point, it is infinitely long. Yes or no? So this is one ray. Again, this is also another ray. This is one ray and this is also another ray. Now two rays, when they start from same endpoints, this is the end point, and from this end point this ray also starts, and from this end point this ray also starts. That time that figure is called as angle. This forms an angle. Okay, this forms an angle. And now linear pair. Now linear pair, you see, what is linear pair? When two angles, as I said you, how the angles are formed. Now we'll talk about linear pair. In linear pair, this is a straight line. When two angles, this is one angle, again this is also another angle. Yes or no? This is one end point. From this end point, this angle formed, and with this end point, with the help of these two rays, this angle also is formed, right? So this angle and this angle, these two angles are forming an 180 degree, is forming an angle of 180 degree. You can see that it's in half circle, right? Since it is in half circle, so it is 180 degree. Yes or no? So this angle starts from here and ends here. Both these points are on the same line, so that means it is forming 180 degree. So when two angles forms 180 degree, those two angles are called linear pair. When two angles forms 180 degree, sum of these two angles is equal to 180 degree. That time these two angles are called linear pair. We do call the same as supplementary angles also. Okay, when two angles, sum of two angles is 180 degree, we call both these angles as linear pair also, and we call these two angles as supplementary angles also. Okay. Now if the same 180 degree will be formed by not two angles but more than that, say this is a straight line and one angle like that. Okay, so here how many angles are there? Here this is one angle, this is one angle, and this is one angle. Here three angles are there, you can see that, right? So these three angles, sum of these three angles is forming 180 degree. This angle plus this angle plus this angle only forming 180 degree. When two angles are forming sum of two angles is 180 degree, that time we call those two angles as this angle and this angle as linear pair. But when it is more than two, that time we call those angles are forming and straight line. Those angles are forming a straight line. This angle, this angle, this angle are forming an straight line. Okay, if it is more than 2, then we call it as straight line. Clear? Now vertically opposite angle. Vertically opposite angles. What is vertically opposite angle? When two lines intersect, then this angle and this angle are opposite to each other, so we call these two angles as vertically angles. This angle and these angles are opposite to each other, so we call these two angles as vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. Clear? When two lines intersect each other, they are intersecting each other, and the opposite two angles of this intersection point, the opposite angles are called vertically opposite angles. Now for an example, if I take a figure like that, okay, I have taken a figure like that. Now you see here, which angles are here vertically opposite angles? Which angles are vertically opposite angles? Now you see, can I say that this angle and this angle is vertically opposite angle? Can I say? Just imagine. Can I say this angle and this angle is vertically opposite? Can I say that? Just see the figure properly. This angle is formed with this line. This angle is formed with this line and this line. These two lines has intersected, so this angle is forming. Yes or no? Right? But this angle, only this angle is forming with this line, this line, this line. So see, if I say this angle and this angle, then of course yes, these two are vertically opposite angle. This angle entire, this angle, yes, these two are vertically opposite angle. But if I say only this angle, is it vertically opposite to this angle? No, it is not vertically opposite to this angle. Yes or no? Because this angle is formed with the intersection of this point, and this point, right? These three lines. Whereas this angle is formed with the intersection of only these two lines, right? So that's why these two are not vertically opposite angles. But whereas this angle and this angle, you see, this angle and this angle, these two angles. So you have to see these two angles. See, this angle is also formed with the intersection of this line and this line, and this angle is also formed with the intersection of this line and this line. This is with the same two lines, these two angles are formed. So that's why these two are vertically opposite angles. Okay, so we have to be very carefully observe the figure, then we have to decide which are the vertically opposite angles. Many angles may sometimes look like vertically opposite angles, but they are not actually. So we have to very carefully look the figure, observe the figure, then we have to come into a conclusion that whether it's a vertically opposite angle or not. Okay, so what is vertically opposite angle? When two lines intersect, from the intersecting point, the opposite two angles are vertically opposite angles. Now I cannot say these two angles are vertically opposite angle. Okay, these two angles are vertical, these are the opposite angles, these are not opposite, right? So these are the vertically opposite angles. Okay, these two lines has intersected, so these two are vertically opposite, whereas these two are vertically opposite. Is that clear? Adjacent angle is two angles which has a common arm. Adjacent angle means angles which has a common arm, and the other two arms are in the opposite sides of the common arm. That means okay, here forms. Now this arm, this is one arm of this angle. Yes or no? This is one arm and this is one arm of this angle. In the same way, for this angle, this is one arm and this is one arm, right? So these two are the arms of this angle, these two are the arms of this angle. Now this is the common arm. this arm coming for this angle also, this arm is coming for this angle also, right? This common arm is in the middle. See, this is in the middle, and the other two arms are in the opposite side of this common arm, So that's why we can say that this angle and this angle are adjacent angles. Are what angles? Adjacent angles. But now you see, if the question is this angle and this angle, okay, in this angle, see very nicely, this angle and these angles, the question is, are these two angles vertically adjacent angles? Now you see, for this angle, which arms are coming? This arm is coming and this arm is coming, yes or no? These two arms. But for this big angle, which arms are coming? This arm is coming and this arm is coming. So for this small angle, these two arms are coming, and for this big angle, these two arms are coming. So which is the common arm? This is the common arm, right? For this angle, this arm is coming. For this angle also, this arm is coming. So this is the common arm, right? So since this is the common arm, and this common arm is not in the middle, this common arm is not in the middle. It should be in the middle. It is not in the middle. It is at one side, right? And the other two non-common arms are in the other side. So that's why we can say that this angle and this angle are not adjacent angles. They are not adjacent angle. But if our question was this angle and this angle, are these two adjacent angle? Yes, this is the common arm of this angle, this is the common arm of this angle. This arm is the common arm of both the angles, and this common arm is in the center, is in the middle, and the non-common arms in the opposite side of this common arm. So we can say this angle and this angle are adjacent angles. Done. So what is the definition comes for adjacent angle? When two angles has a common arm and the other two non-common arms are in the opposite sides of the common arm. When two angles have a common arm and the non-common arms are in the opposite sides of this common arm, then those two angles are called adjacent angles. Clear? So this was all about the basic terms of chapter 6. Just revise it once, then in the next video we will be coming out with exercise 6.1 to solve the problems given in the exercise. Till then, take care, be at home, stay safe, practice well, go through the basic terms that I have given you today in this video, and take care of yourself, be at home, stay safe. Tata, bye bye. It's Nirmal Roy signing off.